I am very honored that you could make time for us to be here today. And as I had communicated from the beginning of the week, we are going to be talking about Black tax. Black tax, an amazing word. And so to start with, we'll say, what is this thing called Black tax? So Black tax is the money that Black professionals are expected to give every month to support their less fortunate family and extended family members. It affects the middle and the lower class groups. And this one, it was actually quite fascinating for me because in a class, like university class, where there were people from first world countries or developed countries or richer families, when asked how many have sent money to their family members during the month, only those from the lower class and the middle class would lift up their hands. And not only in that class, but really broadly, you'd find that from the poor and the middle class, that is where Black tax is rampant. So it is basically the money that is given to the extended family by Black professionals, as I have said. And so you may be wondering, so what is wrong with that? Why is it a problem? Because I think oftentimes we actually get used to the whole idea of sharing what we have, isn't it? It's more like when you get money, you also have to share it with the next person. But there is a time when it really becomes a problem. And this is why this question is coming: why is Black tax a problem? And so I've put it in bullet point to say it causes financial distress to the middle class professionals. And really what happens is when a person begins to work, say you have just completed your university or college, depending from where you're coming from, you have that excitement of earning your first salary. And oftentimes you find the young professional buying a vehicle or immediately getting a loan, to finance a home. So let's say a mortgage to finance a home. And so at that point, the person is already struggling to make sure that the debts are paid off. And then now there are also demands from the family. So it causes financial distress to the middle class professional, as they will usually have no savings left after having to share their salaries with the entire family. It also affects one's ability to save or to build an emergency fund, let alone to invest. We always talk about the importance of having an emergency fund. And this also normally comes when we say, whenever you get your money, pay yourself first. Something which is very difficult, especially in the Black culture. When your money hits the account, already there are several mouths looking forward to that same money. So again, why is it a problem? And we're saying it's a problem because building generational wealth becomes more difficult as a result of the Black tax, and it negatively impacts your mental health. And this, you would see how money issues are related with mental illness. Some people actually go crazy. Some people even kill themselves because of the burden of Black tax. So just to explain also maybe how it works. So we're saying mainly the firstborn child or older children in the family have to cater for the remaining siblings. So this could mean paying their school fees, which would normally be the responsibility of parents. And this can happen maybe because the parents are late or because the parents can not afford. You become the firstborn in the family, so you're the one who has had more opportunities. So you are now supposed to take care of the younger siblings. That happens. Or again, then expectations to take care of the aging parents. Because as you grow older, it also means your parents are growing older and you need to be taking care of them. And nothing is wrong with that. Then sometimes you also have to take care of extended members of the family. And this can include grandparents, uncles, aunties, and even cousins. And if you're married, that can extend to your spouse's family as well. So because they also took care of you, as you were growing up, now it's payback time. And I'm always loving this statement that it takes a village to raise a child. And now it's like payback time to pay back that whole village. So yeah, that, and it can be really overwhelming. I just saw this slide. I loved it, just saying, why do you pay black tax? And these are some of the reasons I think that we're coming out from this and says, I'm trying to break the cycle of poverty by giving others the education that we never had. And then this one is saying, no, because I'm forced to do it. And then another one is saying, it's just done that way. You haven't got Ubuntu if you don't. You know, I think this is also how we are cultured, that it's just humane, it's just part of us that you take care of the rest of the people, your relatives, all these. And the graduate is saying it's expected of me. And this one, as we were talking earlier, that he feels I don't have a choice. Even though I'm in debt, but I can't watch my people suffer, so I have to do something. And the lady saying I'm the only educated adult in the family, and so it just makes sense that I also share what I have. You probably have your own reasons as well, if at this point you're also paying this black tax. So I think there is need, however, to deal with it so that we break the cycle and not penalize our children. Because this thing is really a cycle. If you look at it, probably our parents had to take care of their parents and maybe their siblings. And then now we will probably also have to take care of the extended family and our parents. And also, as we are growing older, we're expecting our children to take care of, so the cycle can go on and on and on. And for some, it can be so bad that as you start working, maybe your family is expecting you to build or to complete the family home. Maybe your parents could not finish building the home because all the money was going towards your school fees. So now it's payback time. Before you can afford to buy your own house, you have to make sure that you complete the village compound, things like that. So how can I deal with black tax? This is the question. And I had to really choose a few answers wisely, but it will also depend with your situation. But here goes. So we're saying choose your battles. You must be picky about what you can support. So you can't say every request that is coming from every Tom, Dick, and Harry, you have to pay or you have to take out the money. If you don't have money for that, you should just say it. I think that is one challenge that we have as Black people. We are actually, it's very difficult to say no. So when someone comes, you feel obligated to give to that person. So in this point, we're just saying, choose your battles. If maybe your grandparents' aunt comes asking for money for school fees for her children, are you going to give her that money or are you not? Choose your battles. And also don't tell everyone what you earn or even your payday. Because there's this thing that the moment you tell someone how much you earn, they will figure out how to get that money from you without really caring whether you have other responsibilities or not. You know, I was just reading a story from one of the groups I am in, where the man is complaining. Actually, this is just this is a weird example, but it's the husband who is complaining about the wife, to say, when I got a salary increment, I informed my wife, but now my wife has actually made adjustments to the family budget to cater for more luxuries. So now it's like that money, you're expecting that since I now have a raise, we can be saving or investing the money. But now it looks like that money is just going to be spent on other luxurious items. So it just happens like that. Naturally, if a person knows how much you earn, they will already put you somewhere in their mind. They'll say, also, this one can afford to give me $100, or this one can afford to give me $200, or even your payday. If you communicate your payday, people are waiting. If your payday is on the 15th, by the 14th, there's an emergency somewhere which will come knocking on your door. So yeah, don't tell everyone what you earn. And also set a budget and stick to it. I can hear some background noises. If you can mute your mic, it should be Desire. If you can mute your mic. And then we said set a budget and stick to it. So you need to set a certain amount that you can afford to give out in a month. And when this money is exhausted, you should not give any more unless it is an emergency. So I'm just thinking of an example. So say you had set aside, maybe you have $100 and you have really divided your $100 nicely so that it can stretch maybe for the week. And then someone else comes and says, oh, we need money for school fees and we need like $200. What would you do? Do you go out of your way to look for this $200, borrow so that you can give your extended family? Or you just say, no, my budget will not even allow for that, you know? So what this point is just saying, set a budget. When you have money, set a budget. And if you followed some of my writings and even on the Zoom sessions we've had before, we're saying cater for those kind of expenses. You know, if you can even put it on your budget to say black tax, and you put $200. So if $200 is exhausted, it means you don't have. I always laughed when I was growing up. You know, I would ask for some things from my mom, and my mom would say, I don't have money. But then the next thing you see, she's buying bread or she's buying something else. And then you'll be like, but you said you don't have money, you see? So she had money for bread, but she doesn't have money for what I've asked for. And that's just how it is. So set a budget, stick to it. If it's a certain amount for the black tax, once it's exhausted, you no longer have money. You do the next thing. So how else do you deal with black tax? So this one now, set a deadline. In some instances, you need to set a deadline on how long you will offer support. You cannot give this person money every month. You become a donor, you know, like you become a donor and you create dependency. The person will not learn to stand on his or her own feet. So you need to set deadlines. So say, for example, you've been helping your auntie with some money. Maybe she's been sick for a while and you've just been trying to help her so that at least she can get back on her feet. Set a deadline. Say, by December, that's it. We move on. So that she doesn't create dependency. And you'd even find her asking, where's the money? This is now in February. Where's the money? But be clear that I'm just helping you for a season. And then when you're back in good health, I will stop offering my support. Very difficult, especially when we talk of Ubuntuism, but we have to do it. Decline when you can't afford to. So this one, I can't emphasize it more. We spoke about this one, the ability to say no. Determine who is your primary, secondary, and tertiary responsibility. So you will know. In my examples, I've been citing the aunties, the cousins, the grandparents, the extended family. Determine who is your primary responsibility. Probably it's your parents. That's your primary responsibility. That is fine. Your secondary, maybe you're saying my siblings. But again, you set a deadline, maybe up until December or up until they turn a certain age. And then your tertiary responsibility, you're probably looking at all these other, I wouldn't want to say Tom, Dick, and Harry, but all these other family members that you know that even if I don't help them, really someone else can chip in and help. And lastly, never ever forget to put money aside for yourself. You will need this money. And I cannot overemphasize the need for an emergency fund, because one day there's going to be an emergency. And because you've been taking care of your family members, they still expect you to have money. Even when you're as broke as a church mouse, they still expect you to have some money. So for yourself, put aside some money every month. So actually, this was my presentation, but I want to ask this question to those who can answer as well. How much of your income do you think should go towards your extended family support? You can give it as a percentage or as a fixed amount, and why. So if anyone is comfortable just saying it roughly, how much of your income do you think, I'm not saying how much do you give, but I'm saying how much do you think should go towards the extended family support? Is there anyone who wants to share? Share their thoughts? Unfortunately, I can't see because I'm sharing the screen, but you can just unmute and talk. I can hear some, I think Elizabeth, I can hear some background noises. Please mute your mic. Elizabeth, please mute your mic. Okay, is there anyone who wants to just give it a go? How much of your income do you think should go towards extended family support? In other words, how much do you think black tax should be? I want to hear your. Okay, let me stop sharing so that I can see. Okay. No one wants to.
Yes.
Hello? Yes, Julius, go ahead. How much do you think should go towards black tax?
This question is yeah, this question is big, or very big.
It's
And
very big.
it's a relative, I think culture dominates here. I'm attending this meeting for the first time, but I keep listening to the videos. Greetings to everyone on the group. But I want to say, yeah, of course, I'm speaking from Namibia. So just to introduce myself, I want to say it depends now. Am I regarded as a supporter in my family? Am I regarded as a provider, like me alone? Am I the only one with means? If we are 2 or 3 or 4, definitely we can always discuss and make a decision to say where do we need to support in the family. But if I'm alone, definitely you need to weigh the needs. Is it about medication? Is it about food? Is it about school? Is it about what?
Yeah.
And I want to couple this question to say, before I make a determination as to how much money maybe I should spare for extended family, I think education, family education when it comes to financial literacy needed to be strengthened before I make such a decision, because I can say now maybe 2% of my salary can go to family support, but there, boom, a big issue comes up, and there is nobody to support. And then definitely you cannot wait, or watch a family swimming in a problem. Of course, I know I needed to have my principles, but sometimes culture and the social bond comes in that will make you to spend, because deploration, social problems will definitely make you to spend money. But I'm just saying, it's a big question. One can make a decision to say maybe 2% or 3%. But what happens in your culture, in your family, in your community determines as well. So yeah, I think it's a really powerful question, which one cannot really have a straightforward answer.
Yes. Thank you so much, Julius. That's great wisdom right there, because I think these are the challenges we face, especially as the Black community. And it's when I started, this problem of Black tax, it's so rampant among the middle class and the low classes of our society. So yeah, and I can also not emphasize the need for an emergency fund, so that when what we have set aside is not enough, we can now dip from the emergency fund, so that we don't have to be paying for emergencies every month, from that, maybe that salary, but at least we have an emergency fund. So thank you so much for that response, Julius. And I really am conscious of our time, so I will not, maybe I can allow one more person to talk. I have two more minutes. So if there's someone who wants to come in.
Is there anybody apart from me?
Yes, I see we are 9 on the call.
No, I mean, somebody wants to talk. Apart from...
You want to talk some more? Talk.
Yeah, for the first time that I'm alive on this one. I mean, I'm live. So I want to say, I think for us to not to suffer from a Black tax individually, I think we need to have some family discussions and the decision. The way you put it, that maybe we need to have a family fund, so that this fund can address emergencies in the family. I think that will help.
I agree with you.
Thank you.
I agree with you. Yes. So especially if you come from a bigger family, really, and you're not the only one, as you said, if you are 4 of you, 3 of you, let's all meet together and agree. How can we help the old lady in the village or the old man in the village, so that it's not an individual burden? So I want to thank you so much. I'm just going to share my screen again, because I had something that I wanted to communicate right at the end. And this is just for those who have not.
All right.
There we go. So yeah, let me share again, just to share my contacts. If you want to get in touch with me to discuss this, some people are shy when we're in a group, but you want to come to my inbox and we discuss, feel free to do that. That's my contact. You can get me on WhatsApp, and you can also read some of my writings on mymoneyproject.info. I have also two books that I've written so far. One titled How Can My Money Be Enough? And the other one is called The Wealth Builder's Toolkit. So if you need any of those, again, just reach out to me. Otherwise, thank you so much for making time to be here. I sincerely appreciate it. We'll meet again at the end of April and I'll be sharing the details. So goodbye, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.